Hello, baseball fans. Welcome to the eighth inning stretch. I'm AJ. He's Carson. Thanks for tuning in. Whether you're listening live here on Sunday morning or listening to this at your leisure on demand, you, of course, can catch us live every Sunday or thereabouts on YouTube, Twitter. No longer on Twitch because, to be quite honest with you, nobody was watching on Twitch. So the Twitch stream is toast. Because we noticed that everybody's either watching on YouTube or on Twitter. But most of you are listening on demand on your favorite podcast platform, which is cool. We are, Carson, I guess despite the live stream, we still are at our core a podcast.
Yeah. We are essentially, we are still the podcast despite there being changes and us being on YouTube and on StreamYard now and everything. But at the end of the day, the core point of the show is to be a podcast.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Some of you have written in and been like, hey, the live stream's cool and all, but hopefully you guys are. Yes, we're still a podcast. That's how we started. That's how we'll always still at our core be a podcast. Honestly, the live stream is just another way. You guys, a lot of you asked for ways for the show to be a little more interactive and a little more. So that's what live stream. Anyways, live just about every Sunday on YouTube. Still live on YouTube, still live on Twitter, or on demand anytime at Linktree/8th inning stretch. Don't forget to follow us at 8th inning pod on Twitter. And for more, including our thrice weekly newsletter, column, blog thingy, 2 Strike Count, which you can get delivered right to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by subscribing. Head to 8thinningpod.com. And if you're so inclined, help us continue to turn out the best indie baseball content this side of home plate by supporting the show, either using the QR code on your screen. You can't see me, but I'm pointing at the corner. The QR code's we're using the wrong. No, we're good. So we had two. we've had a couple of different overlays for the live stream. One of them, we're using the right one. Yeah. The QR code down there in the bottom right hand corner, or by heading to 8thinningpod.com/donate. Whew. Okay. Spiel's out of the way. Boy, do we have a lot of stuff to get to. Lots going on in baseball, lots going on out of baseball. Oh, by the way, everybody, we have seen your we have seen your messages and emails about a lot of you. Well, maybe not a lot. A decent amount of you have been writing in and asking if there's a way we can make 2 Strike Count every day of the week. First of all, flattery will get you everywhere. But not right now. Honestly, it's a lot to write to do it 3 times a week. So, but I don't know, maybe something we can look at down the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, we have seen your messages about that. We've seen your messages about some of you have been asking about possibly live streaming directly from our website at 8thinningpod.com. I did look into that. That is something we can do from StreamYard. So that's something we'll look into also. So just to, kind of let you guys know that we do actually read your messages. So, I think that was it. Okay. To the poll results. This was a goodie. In light of Shohei Ohtani passing Hideki Matsui, as with the most home runs of any Japanese-born MLB player, we decided to ask you guys, where does Shohei Ohtani rank all-time among Japanese-born MLB players? The choices were he's number 1, top 5, or top 10. And this was another close one. Carson, 41% of our fans voted that Shohei Ohtani is the best number one Japanese-born MLB player of all time. 38% voted for top 5, and only 21% voted for top 10.
Yeah, very, very close between top and top 5. For me, he is number 1. That's where my vote would go. I'd go with the 41%, but yeah, could definitely see both sides of the argument there.
Yeah, this one is a little tricky. I mean, obviously, Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani, and I mean, he's arguably the best player in the world right now. And obviously all the things he's accomplished. But I think I've got to go. I think I've got to top 10. No, top 10 is not good enough. I think I've got to go top 5. Only because of a dude named Ichiro, who I think was pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, that's fair. There are plenty of great Japanese players who have come into MLB, and it's even hard to just pick. It's hard to pick like a Mount Rushmore of Japanese players, but Ichiro's definitely on that list for sure.
Hard to do, but it won't stop. It's not going to stop me from trying. I would in particular, I would put Ichiro as the best Japanese-born MLB player of all time. I mean, the dude he was a superstar in Japan. He was a superstar here. AL Rookie of the Year, AL MVP, something crazy like 10 All-Star selections in a row, 10 Gold Gloves. I mean, the dude was just kind of in a but I would put Ichiro, I would put Hideki Matsui on that Mount Rushmore. And then I think I'd go Hideo Nomo. And probably who to give that last spot to? You know what? I'll be a little Red Sox biased here. I think I'd give that last spot to Koji Uehara.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much my Mount Rushmore too, with an honorable mention on mine too to Yu Darvish.
Oh. Yeah. Oh man, how did I forget about Yu Darvish? Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably swap out Hideo Nomo for Yu Darvish and have it be Shohei, Ichiro, Yu Darvish, and Koji.
See, I don't know. Shohei's not quite. Shohei, I have no doubt that Shohei Ohtani will be there, kind of when all is said and done. But yeah, Yu Darvish is a really good pick. Yeah, Yu Darvish has been pretty. Yeah. Yu Darvish is pretty damn good.
Confirming it in no particular order: Shohei Ohtani,
yes.
Ichiro, Hideki Matsui, and Yu Darvish is my Japanese Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so the only one we differ on is Yu Darvish. Well, you have Shohei on yours. Show me something, Shohei. I not quite yet. He will be. He absolutely will be. I have no doubt of that. I mean, he's already passed. He's got the record for most home runs by a Japanese-born MLB player. He passed Hideki Matsui, and Ichiro. Jeez, I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more not quite. Not quite yet for me. Could we just talk about Koji Uehara though for a second? Because this dude, 10 years with the Yomiuri Giants, which for those of you who don't know, the Yomiuri Giants, Carson, are basically they're Japanese baseball royalty. He spent 10 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants. I mean, if you were going to compare the Giants to an MLB team, I mean, they're basically the Yankees of NPB. 10 seasons with the Yomiuri Giants, signed with the Orioles at age 34. That's kind of mind-blowing that he came over. He didn't come to MLB until he was 34. Most guys come over in like their mid-20s. Signed with the Orioles at age 34 in 2009, but his biggest splash, he signed with the Red Sox as a free agent before the 2013 season. Try these out for some numbers. Uehara appeared in 73 games for the Red Sox in 2013 and posted a 1.09 ERA. My math isn't very good, but I think a 1.09 ERA is pretty okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Holy crap. Wow. Yeah, that's insane. Struck out 101 batters, walked just 9. Took over the closer role, and the rest is history for the 2013 Red Sox. But yeah, just a little Koji Uehara appreciation there. And Carson, I think another Japanese pitcher that we need to keep an eye on in terms of maybe cracking that Mount Rushmore at some point. How about Shota Imanaga?
Okay, let's pump the brakes here. He is in his first season in MLB. Yes, he looks good, but just hang on. You're driving the train at Mach level speeds. Like pump the brakes here.
Okay, maybe a little bit, but the dude's 4-0 with an ERA, a 0.98 ERA through 4 starts. Holy crap. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would take, if I had the choice between Shota Imanaga and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I would take Imanaga all day, every day, twice on Sundays. I could be wrong. It happens. I think Shota Imanaga is going to end up being the better. I think he's going to end up being the better. What do you call it? The better signing out of those two, but we'll see. I mean, Yamamoto's no slouch, obviously, but man, 0.0 an ERA under 1 through your first 4 major league starts. I don't know if that's impressive as hell. Especially, I mean, that would be impressive for anybody, but I think it's even more impressive the fact that he's doing it as a, in his first MLB, as somebody who just arrived in MLB, which we know that the transition from Japan, from NPB to MLB can be pretty rocky. So
very true.
Shota Imanaga seems to, he's taken to it like a fish to water. Yeah. Anyways, so we do have some. We did get some sad news while we were away. The one and only the great Howie Schwab, longtime ESPN. I mean, talk about a fixture at ESPN, and Howie Schwab passed away. It's been about a week now, but happened after we did our last show. So Carson, Howie Schwab, I think you would be challenged to find a person, another human being who knew as much about sports as Howie Schwab.
Yeah, they're in my, I don't know how I got to this side of the weird and wacky world of TikTok, but some Stump the Schwab clips have been coming up, and I was just sitting there in awe of how calm, cool, collected this guy was and how much he knew. When I was sitting here, like, I didn't even know half of the, like, it was like, and some of them were baseball ones, and I'm like, I didn't even know half of these guys did some of these things, and he's rattling them off like it's nothing. He was very impressive to watch. Obviously, like you said, very knowledgeable. And obviously condolences to his loved ones, his friends, anybody who worked with him there at ESPN.
Yeah. Stump the Schwab was back in the day. It was one of my favorite shows. So it was a game show hosted by Howie Schwab, where contestants would basically, they would face off against each other, and then the one left standing at the end would go head to head with Howie. And I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but not many people were successful in stumping Howie Schwab. Wow, that was on back in 2004. God damn, I'm old. Yeah, Carson mentioned the clips on TikTok. I mean, there's probably old episodes floating around on YouTube somewhere. So, you guys should definitely check that out. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that kind of sucked. That was kind of sad. That was pretty sad when I saw that. On a much happier note, we have a couple milestones to celebrate. Pete Crow Armstrong, the Cubs' top prospect, was called up because of the injury to Cody Bellinger. Carson finally recorded his first career MLB hit, and it was a 2-run go-ahead home run for the Cubs. That's a pretty decent debut.
Yeah, that's not too bad, I would imagine. Yeah, obviously with Belly going down, the Cubs fans were chomping at the bit, knowing that this call up was probably coming for Pete, and boy, did he make it look like the right decision.
Yeah, you can't do much better than a home run in your first, for your first MLB hit. I mean, he struggled a little bit in his first stint with the Cubs last year, but now he's got another shot at it. I mean, we'll see what happens with his bat, Carson. But the big upside for me for Pete Armstrong for the Cubs is his glove. The dude is probably, I would venture, probably the best defensive outfielder that the Cubs have.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure. I mean, his glove is very impressive, and I hesitate to use the word scouting, but got to watch him a couple of times when he was in AAA with the Iowa Cubs when they were playing the St. Paul Saints. And
oh wow, cool.
He can play. Let me just tell you that he can play.
So you got to see him play. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Now his glove is the big upside here. I mean, his AAA slash line is it's okay. 203, 241, 392 slash lights, 7 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 2 homers in AAA this year. So, not exactly setting the world on fire with his bat, but his glove and his speed. PCA Carson has a better than decent set of wheels. So I'd also expect, if I were a Cubs fan, I'd expect to see him subbed into games a lot as a pinch runner too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, as he should be.
I mean, you can probably attest to that better than I can. You've seen him play, so you've seen the speed firsthand.
Yeah, he will make pitchers nervous when he is on the base paths, because he has speed unlike many players that I've ever seen play, and that was even in the minor leagues. So, imagine being a major league pitcher having to worry about that kind of speed on there.
Yeah, and that's what a good base runner can do. I think every team needs a guy like that, someone who can get on base, and once they're on base, even if you're not sending them, even if they're not trying to steal, even if they're not, trying to swipe second, just having that guy on first and giving the pitcher, in the back of his mind, something else to think about, can have all sorts of effects. It can, it can be enough to distract the pitcher that, that they throw a cookie, down the middle of the plate, and that the hitter takes advantage of. So, good for PCA, good for the Cubs. Cubs fans, I would be pretty excited about this dude. Lot of upside there, especially and okay, sure, he's not Cody Bellinger, but that's a pretty good. You could do worse for a replacement, for a substitution, I guess, for Cody Bellinger. And then another little milestone yesterday, Carson. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, hit his 200th career home run against the Cardinals. A nice little opposite field shot at Citi Field, off of your old friend Sonny Gray. The Mets ultimately lost the game, but shout out to the polar bear for 200 career home runs.
Yeah, absolutely incredible that he has done it in the amount of time that he has. And I mean, the polar bear rakes. We've known that for a very long time. And it's only a matter of time, I feel like, before he hits that next milestone. I mean, he did this in 6 years. That's incredible.
It's pretty quick. Yeah. I think I saw something like he's like the 4th fastest player in MLB to reach 200 home runs.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised.
That's impressive. That's kind of mind-blowing, actually, when you think about, some of the company he's in.
Mm-hmm.
He's also now creeping up the Mets all-time home run list. He's still 4th, but now so he's talk about good company, ladies and gentlemen. So Pete's at 200. Ahead of him are Mike Piazza. I think he was a pretty decent baseball player. I think he was okay at baseball. Mike Piazza with 220 career homers for the Mets. David Wright, I think he was okay, with 242, and Darryl Strawberry is the Mets all-time home run leader with 252. That's some pretty okay company.
Yeah, that's not too bad, I don't think. Damn. Right?
Wow. So yeah, I mean, Mike Piazza 220. It's a pretty good bet that we'll see Pete Alonso pass Mike Piazza this year.
Probably, yeah.
Maybe David Wright if he has a really good year, possibly. If he has a really, really good year, we could see him pass Darryl Strawberry this year. But as long as Pete Alonso, as long as the Mets keep him around, which has been a matter of some speculation, we could see him become the Mets all-time home run leader, which is that's pretty impressive. So yeah, shout out to Pete Alonso. Man, yeah, that is just confirmation. 4th fastest player in MLB history to reach the 200 home run mark. That's kind of mind-blowing, actually. When you consider some of the other, all the greats that have come through the years. So all right, one last little bit of housekeeping before we really get down to Book of Baseball. Yes, I know you guys were supposed to have it Friday. That didn't happen. We had some technical difficulties getting it uploaded. Still working and trying to figure that out. So still trying to figure that out. Haven't had much time to try to figure it out. Producer Tasha was in Indy over the weekend for the Pacers game. And I've been dealing with some personal stuff on my side. I was gonna wait until the end of the show to talk about this, but I kind of just want to get it out of the way. Yesterday, or the day before, my one of my friends lost her mom to a cancer battle. And so I've been, spending time with her and just trying to be there for her as best I can. And that really sucks. And Carson, I think you would join me in a F cancer thing.
Yeah, F cancer all the way to HE double hockey sticks. Cancer sucks.
Yes, it does. Cancer can suck it. Quite frankly,
as somebody who has seen and has lost multiple family members to cancer in all of its in its many forms, because at this point it feels like cancer is like freaking Pokemon, where there's so many versions of it. My God. But not to
no. But
let me disclaimer here.
Yes,
humor is one of my coping mechanisms. Yes. So this was by no means meant to make light of a very serious disease, a very serious illness that has affected just about everyone, I think, in not just here in the US, but I think in the world. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody who hasn't been affected in some sort of way by cancer. And yeah, F cancer sucks, and hopefully the day is near where we find a cure.
Oh man, from your lips, here's hoping. Cancer can F all the way off. So I would just kind of appreciate if all of you guys could send your good thoughts, your good vibes, your prayers, and what have you to my friend or her family, because they're obviously going through a rough time. So screw cancer. But anyways, my original point being that we will get you guys the first episode of the Book of Baseball. We just need to figure out technical issues and what we have to do there. So it is coming, I promise. We didn't forget about it. Just, Carson, like we like to say, sometimes there are things bigger than baseball.
Exactly. Yep.
So priorities, everybody. Priorities. So anyways. All right. Speaking of baseball, let's talk some baseball. Because this is a baseball show, even though sometimes you wouldn't know it. Reports. Now, I don't know where this. I'll disclaimer everybody in the interest of transparency. I don't know where this originally came from. This report originally came from, but I saw it from the great Tim Kirchin on social media. That Kirchin had reported that he's heard that Terry Francona is, and this is a quote from Tim Kirchin, quote, getting healthy and will be back managing within a year and a half. First of all, that's awesome news. First and foremost, Carson, that's awesome news that Terry Francona is even thinking about managing again, because he's dealt with a lot of health issues lately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the best managers probably of all time in Tito Francona, and obviously glad to hear that his health is improving to the point where he's considering coming back into managing. But here is where, for me, nothing against him wanting to come back to the game, but at this point, you got to take care of yourself, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole reason you left was because of your health, and I appreciate that he wants to come back and that fire is still there, but you need to stay healthy. Your family needs you to stay healthy, and if that means you got to hang it up, then I don't know, maybe this is just me trying to look at this situation from some sort of negative sour grapes point of view, but I'd say just stay away, stay healthy, man.
No, I don't think that's a negative perspective at all. I think that's we were just talking about priorities and perspective. I think that's just keeping things in perspective. Yeah, dude, your health is way more important than than managing. I mean, and this isn't his latest health issue that that led to his retirement wasn't the first time. Tito was dealing with health issues way back when he was managing the Red Sox. I remember him missing more than a few games, to deal with stuff. So, this wasn't the first time. He missed games in 2017. He missed the 2017 All-Star game. Yeah, I mean, if this most recent thing was the first time, and obviously Carson, Tito knows his own health better than than the rest of us. But no, I mean, as much as I would love to see Tito back in the dugout, he's I mean, like Carson said, he's one of the best managers of all time. Carson, I'm pretty sure you would agree with me that Tito is a stone cold lock for Cooperstown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt there. I obviously have a little bit of a special soft spot for him. For the years he spent with my Red Sox, won 2 championships, won 2 World Series, managed the Red Sox to 2 World Series titles, and especially 2004 and everything that went with that, and the series against the Yankees and everything. I mean, Tito Francona to me will always, I would take him, I would put him at the top of my managerial list any day. And Carson, I think both of us would agree, as much as we would love to see Tito Francona back in the dugout, we'd rather see him around for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd hate to see him. I'd hate to see him push himself, and get into a situation where I don't know. I kind of hate to bring this up, but we don't want to see him we don't want to see Tito in a kind of a Tony La Russa situation.
Right, exactly.
I mean, nothing but respect for Tony La Russa, obviously, but towards the end, pushed himself a little too far, a little too hard, and and is now dealing with health issues there. Yeah, so I mean, hey man, if we could all be 65 and have the fire and energy that Tito has, though.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. If only all of us could get to, could hit 65 and have the fire and energy that Tito Francona has. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously up to him. He obviously knows his health, better than us, clearly. But yeah, man, I think you just got to take a step back and realize that, your health is more important. Your family wants you around. But just hypothetically speaking, because we love hypotheticals here on the Eighth Inning Stretch, if Tito Francona were to, if this is true, and he is getting better, and he does decide he wants to manage again, well, one, I think it would have to be basically the perfect situation.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Absolutely.
I mean, it would have to be basically the perfect situation. I think he's not just going to manage anywhere. He's obviously going to want to be in a good situation, and I think he would, be one of those situations where he'll only, he probably only wants to manage a contender.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He's not going to come out of retirement I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pick on somebody's team here. He's not going to come out of retirement to manage the Miami Marlins. Sorry, Marlins fans.
Although him on the Marlins, I think, would be good for Jazz Chisholm. Just putting that out there.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. No, he's not going to come out of retirement to manage, to manage a not. I mean, not that, that's the thing about the Marlins. The Marlins are not a bad team. Yeah, I know their record sucks, but the Marlins are not a bad team, like talent wise.
God no.
So, I don't know. Yeah, Tito and Jazz sounds like an 80s band, an 80s musical act.
Tito and Jazz.
Tito and Jazz. Yeah. Sounds like it's straight out of the 80s. Yeah, I mean, that actually, now the more I think about that, I could actually totally see that. Yeah, I mean, but he's not going to want to come out of retirement. He's going to want to come out of retirement and to a good team, a team that has the pieces in place to compete. The team I'm about to mention is the complete opposite of that, although they do have a lot of really exciting young talent. Tito Francona managing the Colorado Rockies. Right? Makes sense in a weird sort of way.
A very weird sort of way, but yeah.
I mean, the Rockies have a ton of young talent. I don't know. Like, I mean, no matter if he does in fact return to managing, no matter where Tito goes, he's gonna have an impact. And I mean, if anyone can whip a team into shape, it's Tito Francona. But I mean, I gotta be honest, I also wouldn't hate. I don't think this would happen because of past issues. And the way they treated him on his way out the door. But I wouldn't exactly hate a Tito Francona Red Sox reunion.
Yeah, but that would also mean that you would fire Alex Cora, and they're not going to do that.
Not yet. I feel like Cora's seat is a little toasty. I feel.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Cora's. It's not hot. It's not hot yet, but it's toasty. But I don't know. But one, yes, Alex Cora would have to be fired. Which, I mean, I like Alex Cora. He's done a good job with the Red Sox for the most part. And two, I don't think that would ever happen as long as John Henry is still involved in the running of the Red Sox, because again, of the way they treated, the way they scapegoated Tito and the way they treated him on his way out the door, I don't think that would ever happen. But anyways, we're just spitballing here. In all honesty, Carson, I would put, as much as I would love to see Tito Francona back in the dugout, I would put the odds of him actually coming out of retirement to manage again at slim to none.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. I just got blinded by the sun. Had to close the curtains. I had the curtains open. It was a nice morning. Now the sun is like, bam, right in my face. Yeah, I don't see it happening. It would be cool. That said, I mean, I think it would be equally cool to see Tito in some sort of, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking maybe it would be cool to see him in some sort of, advisory role or something. But you know what, Tito? Enjoy your retirement, dude. You earned it. More than earned it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, speaking of Tito and one of his former teams, the Cleveland Guardians, Cleveland, just what the heck is going on out there? Your team has the best record in the American League. Second, wait, I think they still do. Hang on, gotta check the standings. I stand corrected. Not just the best record in the American League. The Cleveland Guardians have the best record in baseball right now. And yet you wouldn't know it by looking at their attendance. I caught part of a game the other day, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, why are there so many empty seats? The Guardians are only averaging about 19,000 fans per home game, which in a stadium that holds about 34,000, I think. That's only slightly more than half. I'm kind of at a loss. The Guardians have the best record in baseball. They're having one of the best seasons they've had in quite a while. And yet Progressive Field, that's still what it's called, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think it's still Progressive Field. I remember when it was Jacobs Field. Dating myself. Best record in baseball, one of the best seasons they've had, starts to the seasons anyways, that they've had in a long time. And yet Progressive Field looks more like Coors Field.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting, and maybe that's just Guardians fans waiting for the other shoe to drop or something along those lines. Maybe they're just not as excited about the team this year.
What could
Guardians maybe all
fans...
of the attention.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, maybe too, all of the attention right now is also focused on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are also in the midst of their own playoff series. So, maybe it's just a thing where once the Cavs playoff run is over, whenever that happens, people will start to migrate back to these games. But these guys are off to a absolutely terrific start.
You mean once the Cavs inevitably choke and lose in the first round?
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry, Cleveland. And as far as what other shoe? It's not like they haven't won the World Series since 1948 or anything.
Yeah, no, they've definitely won it prior to that, but after that, right?
It's not like it's not like they're in the midst of a decades-long championship drought or anything.
No, it's not. No. It's not like they're the team that the Cubs beat in the World Series to end their World Series drought.
Oh man, I wasn't even gonna bring up 2016. Ice cold.
These are my division rivals. I have to be.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Send all your angry emails to 8th Inning Stretch at 2 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't even going to mention 2016 because I know that's a sore spot for Cleveland fans. I mean, but that actually makes my point though. Like, okay, you were in the World Series, okay, it's been a few years. They've been in the World Series since the 95 World Series, 97 against the Marlins, 2016 against the Cubs. They've been in the World Series since. Okay, granted, you haven't won it, but the fact that you haven't won it in so long, to me, and this may be my inner Red Sox fan speaking, but when the Red Sox were in the middle of their 86-year drought, granted, I was only alive for part of that, a very small part of that. The fact that your team hasn't won a championship in so long, and the fact that they're off to such a good start, isn't that even more reason to go to the ballpark and to get excited? Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, if I don't know. Make it make sense.
The most impressive part of this is they're doing it without Shane Bieber. They're doing it, their starting pitching has not been great to start the year, but if I had to shift the focus to a couple of guys, first of all, Steven Kwan, hello, hitting 345, 378 on base, 847 OPS, hello. My God, is he hitting the cover off the ball right now? Also, Emmanuel Clase is once again proving why he's one of the best closers in baseball. 8 for 10 in his save opportunities, a .64 ERA, a .786 WHIP. Like, dude is looking phenomenal once again.
Yeah, Emmanuel Clase is the very you look up lights out closer in the dictionary, ladies and gentlemen, and you see a picture of Emmanuel Clase. He has turned himself into the kind of closer, Carson, that when you're an opposing team and you see him come out, you see those bullpen doors open and you see him come out of that bullpen, in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, that game's over.
Yeah.
He just has that effect. And oh, by the way, they just beat the Braves in Atlanta. Wow. Yeah. Which is no small task. Yeah, I make it make sense, Cleveland fans. I just don't get it. But I don't know. Maybe there's who knows what's going on. I just hopefully, maybe it's the Cavs, maybe they're talking directly to you, Cleveland. In case you haven't noticed, your team is really freaking good. Get out to the ballpark and support them. I know it's early. I know it's only, it's still April and it's a long season, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But like, get out to the ballpark and I don't want to be sitting here watching Guardians games and like I said, have Progressive Field looking like Coors Field.
Yeah, very true.
Sorry, Rockies fans. But that's where we're at. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. On the flip side of that, a shout out to all my fellow Mariners fans who have been packing T-Mobile Park. It's about damn time. Good for you guys. All right. Umpires. Carson, Major League Baseball has an umpire problem. Well, that's stating the obvious. They've had an umpire problem for a while. Let's start with our old friend Angel Hernandez. Angel Hernandez, at this point, Carson, it's pretty much death, taxes, and Angel Hernandez making atrocious calls.
How is this man still an umpire? Honestly, I
don't know.
Catchers must love it when Angel Hernandez is umpiring their games because they're like, oh, I could literally frame this pitch that's 6 inches off the plate into the strike zone, and this dummy will call it as a strike. Like they must feel like Picasso the way they're able to frame those pictures.
Nice. Yeah, no, seriously though, I don't like. Angel Hernandez is much maligned, and rightfully so. But it's almost like he's got this weird, like he's taking on this weird self-challenge. Like, oh, I can be worse. I can be worse than I already am. So this is going back a little bit, but in April, the game in question was back on April 12th. It was the Rangers and the Astros, big series. Obviously, the Texas rivalry rematch of last year's ALCS, all that good stuff. The Rangers, Wyatt Langford, none of the pitches in the at-bat, not a single one were in the strike zone. And yet, Angel Hernandez, he rang up Wyatt Langford on 3 straight pitches. Again, none of which were in the strike zone, Carson. But none of them weren't even, I'm so mad. These weren't even borderline pitches. In fact, the third strike, that I used strike in quotation marks, in air quotes, the third pitch, the one Hernandez called strike 3, missed the strike zone by 6.78 inches.
Absolutely insane. And if I remember right too, one of those was like the first pitch of the game. And it was that atrocious. I'm just like, oh boy, all right. Angel just wants to go home today, apparently. Like, oh my god. Look, I get that everybody's human. I get that humans make mistakes. I'm well aware of that. But at a certain point, you gotta look at this guy, and the only reason he's still an umpire is because he's probably threatened to sue Major League Baseball, calling it discrimination. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah.
It's insane. He's so bad at and it's not just behind the plate. He's bad at first base. He's bad at third base. He's bad everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. No, he's just not a good umpire. He sucks at his job. Yeah, I mean, strike three missing the strike zone by almost 7 inches. That's just I don't even know. I'd kind of like I'd sort of like to know what goes on in this dude's head, like standing, and like you said, it's not just at home plate. It's no matter where they put him, he's bad. But I'd almost like to know what goes on in this dude's mind when he's, calling balls and strikes at home plate. Like, how do you look at that? And it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. And then if that wasn't bad enough, he followed up that performance at the Rangers during the Rangers Astro series by missing several crucial calls in a Padres Dodgers game. Again, another big game with divisional implications on April 17th, in which his called strike accuracy was 85%. Carson, I would love to be able to go to work every day and only do my job the right way 85% of the time and still get a paycheck.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Sign me up. Where do I get a job like that? Oh man,
that'd be fantastic.
I mean, you and I have zero umpiring experience. We could do a better job than Angel Hernandez.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And like you said, I don't know how this dude still has a job. I tend to agree with your lawsuit theory. But I mean, at this point, by allowing him to keep, by keeping him around and allowing him to keep umpire games and make these atrocious calls, at this point, though, MLB is disrespecting its players, its teams, and above all, disrespecting us, the fans, by keeping this knucklehead around.
Yeah, it's just, ugh. I hate that we're even talking about this idiot right now.
Yeah, I hate that we even have to talk about umpires. Like, we shouldn't have to talk about umpires at all. Like, how often, let's throw this out there for a moment. How often do we talk about, I feel like we talk about umpires. I mean, okay, yes, this is a baseball show, but how often do you hear talk about officials in the other sports? Like, I mean, I feel like it's almost never.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, I don't know about you. I don't think I could even name. I mean, Angel Hernandez is probably the only umpire that I could think of, like, name off the top of my head. I don't think I could even name an official, a ref, or in any of the other major sports without looking it up.
Yeah.
But I mean, somebody says Angel Hernandez, and I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him in MLB. I don't know why they continue to keep this knucklehead around. I mean, I know the process would probably be long and painful, but he's got to go. Gotta go. I mean, it's only, I don't know. Because to me, it's only a matter of time. I mean, I know he's blown big calls in big situations, but Carson, to me, it's only a matter of time before he makes one of these boneheaded calls in a really, in a big game, in a playoff game, or God forbid, a World Series game that winds up costing a team.
Yeah. It's just, ugh.
All right, everybody. I think Carson's had enough Angel Hernandez talk. Let's talk about another boneheaded umpire, who apparently has been taking lessons from Angel Hernandez. His name is, what is it? Hunter Wendelstedt.
Oh.
Yankees. Yeah. Yankees fans will know that name. Okay, so to be fair, Carson, Aaron Boone and getting tossed from games, it's not exactly new territory for him. He's been tossed 34 times since he took over as Yankee manager. And I would put it out there that 99.99999% of those were warranted. Yes, agree?
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Okay. But not this past Monday against the Oakland A's. Yankee skipper got thrown out 5 pitches into the game, folks. 5 pitches. To be fair, you could kind of see it coming. Boone had words with home plate umpire Wendelstedt. They kind of squabbled over a call. I think it was Terry Ruiz was at the plate at the time. But then during the very next at bat, a Yankees. This is just. I promise, folks. This isn't a story from the Onion. A Yankees fan sitting behind the dugout offered his opinion about the umpire. And Wendelstedt supposedly thought it was Boone and tossed Boone.
Yeah, I just the best part of this is the quote that he said was, "I don't care who said it, you're gone."
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what even is that?
Like we've got a Red Sox fan here defending Aaron Boone. Like, what is going on? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, have these umpires just lost their minds? Like, the dude in the stand says it whilst like the ump and he basically just says, like, Wendelstedt basically just says to Boone, "I don't care who said it, you're gone, goodbye." Like, what? That's just so dumb on so many levels. Why must umpires make my blood pressure go up? Why do they make the game about them? Why does my blood pressure go up every time Angel Hernandez is behind the plate of a game? And now the same thing for Hunter Wendelstedt. If I'm a fan, if I'm an opposing fan, I'm trying to say whatever I can to see if he'll throw another man.
I know, right? That's funny you said that, because I was kind of thinking that. I'm like, oh, that would be kind of fun to be at a Yankees game and have Hunter Wendelstedt at home plate and say something and get him to toss the opposing manager. That would be kind of funny. Only if it was Aaron Boone, though. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I am no great fan of Aaron Boone. Yes, I still hate him for his Game 7 walk-off in 2003. He will forever be known to me as Aaron Bleeping Boone. But he got a raw deal, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Carson, if Wendelstedt had just, I don't know, been rational and piped down for a second, he would have realized that Aaron Boone didn't say anything. I mean, Boone was literally standing quietly on the top step of the dugout. I don't know, man. It seems to me, I think what I think happened, Wendelstedt was pissed that Boone called him out on a bad call. It was a Terry Ruiz. I looked it up. That Wendelstedt called him out. That Boone called him out for a lousy call, against Terry Ruiz, and Wendelstedt was just looking for an excuse to throw him out.
Yeah, that's fair, but throwing him out for something that a fan said and then saying, "I don't care who said it, you're gone," is insane.
Yep. And I'm glad you said that about umpires making the game about themselves. Granted, I would say that most umpires, it's kind of like, I don't know, I was trying to think of an example. It's that's a little, well, whatever. It's sort of like a disclaimer. I'm not comparing these two professions at all, so save the angry mails. But it's sort of like when people talk about cops and people talk about all cops are, bad or whatever, and they just sort of generalize and lump all cops in together. And the truth is, most cops are good. There are a few bad apples. Carson, most umpires are good. Most umpires just go out there and do their jobs. But there are a few bad apples, Angel Hernandez being the rottenest of the apples, and guys like Hunter Wendelstedt, who, they make the game all about them, which I don't know. Like, MLB needs to do something. Because umpires are in a unique position where they have absolute authority. I mean, umpires basically run the game.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Which is a unique situation to baseball. That doesn't happen with officials in other sports.
Right.
It's part of, it's part of what makes baseball unique is that umpires basically have absolute authority to do whatever the hell they want. Most of them don't abuse that authority. Some of them do. Angel Hernandez and Hunter Wendelstedt among them. And I don't know. Like, I don't know what's got to change. I don't know what recourse MLB can do. But they've got to do something because this is way out of control.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, how many times have we seen players and managers get ejected, get thrown out of games? I mean, okay, I get it. If you're a player or a coach or an umpire or a player, a coach or a manager, and you're just being a dick and you're just arguing with the umpire for the sake of arguing with him, then you do deserve to get tossed. Or, if we're talking about a pitcher who intentionally throws at a batter, obviously get out. But we've seen way too many times, Carson, players and managers and coaches get ejected simply because they made a legitimate argument about a questionable call.
Yeah, it's nuts. Just ugh. Umpires.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, folks. So again, I don't know what MLB can do. I don't know what recourse they have, but they've got to do something. We have no idea when it's coming or if. I'm pretty sure ABS, the automatic ball strike system, is coming to MLB at some point. I would guess within the next couple of years. We don't know for sure, obviously, and nothing's been confirmed, obviously. But Carson, I think having ABS is a good thing on many levels, but first and foremost, having ABS will put these umpires in check a little bit because they won't be able to get away with these atrocious calls.
Yeah.
At the plate.
Thank God for that.
Angel Hernandez is going to hate ABS. He's going to hate the fact that players and managers will be able to question his, a called strike 3 that missed the plate by 7 inches, or missed the strike zone by 7 inches. Yeah. Angel Hernandez is going to hate ABS. But hey, who knows? Maybe he'll be retired by then. One can only hope. All right. So from umpires to pitchers, bad news for Giants fans. Hey, stop me if you've heard this one before, ladies and gentlemen. A pitcher is on the IL. What? That's crazy. Blake Snell this time. The Giants placed him on the 15-day IL with a left abductor strain. And Carson, when I saw this news, I mean, obviously that sucks. You never want to see a player hurt, especially when you're talking about a player, on the level of Blake Snell. But that the abductor strain and the stint on the IL might explain his 11.57 ERA through his first 3 starts.
Yeah, not great. And maybe this was something that had been bothering him, so maybe a stint on the IL will do him some good. But the Giants need him to be at
Yeah.
tip top shape and in the condition of him being the Cy Young caliber talent that he is, because right now they're below 500 and they're 4.5 games back of the Dodgers for the NL West already. So they got to get going.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we talk about it all the time. It's still early. It's a long season. Yada yada yada. But yeah, the Giants need to get going now. Man, we were talking to him earlier about the Marlins being too good to be this bad. How about the Giants? I mean, you have an off season where you go out and get Jorge Soler, you go out and get Blake Snell, you go out and get all these pieces, and you just stumble right out of the gate. Yeah, I mean, Snell struggling. I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, but I would assume that this injury is connected to his rough start. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if Blake Snell knew he was struggling with an injury, I feel like that's something him and the Giants would have addressed before they signed him. So maybe this is something that cropped up just since he's been. I mean, I have a theory. Could it possibly? This is going to sound way out there, everybody. Could it have something to do with the fact that Blake Snell basically missed spring training because his agent is an idiot?
Yeah, that also doesn't help.
I mean, the dude essentially missed spring training, and I know I've seen, people have said Boris has come out and, oh, well, these guys were still working out. Sorry, idiot. It's not the same thing. Working out by yourself isn't the same thing as working out with your teammates.
Yeah, very true.
So, I mean, I really do. I really think that has something to do with it. But yeah, it's been a rough go of things for the Giants. Jorge Soler, not really doing Jorge Soler things yet. Mike Yastrzemski, not doing Yastrzemski things yet. Yeah, things are looking pretty bleak by the Bay. I mean, you've still got Logan Webb, you've still got Jordan Hicks. We don't know what's going on with Blake Snell. I mean, hopefully he doesn't need surgery or anything, and he can come back and be Blake Snell. And a name that's, I feel like, that's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle with the Giants, Carson. They're also down former Cy Young winner Robbie Ray, who's not supposed to be back until after the All-Star break.
Yeah, so that'll, the second half of the season hopefully will provide better fortune. They'll have everybody kind of at full strength as far as that rotation is concerned, because with both of those guys healthy, that rotation is a serious problem.
That's a damn good rotation. Robbie Ray, Logan Webb, Jordan Hicks, and Blake Snell. Hell yeah. That's a hell of a rotation. But anyways, hang in there, Giants fans. Your team is way too good to be where they're at right now. And I have complete confidence that they'll get healthy and they'll figure things out. I mean, obviously, all the best to Blake Snell. But man, Carson, another pitcher down.
Yep, yet again, and we've talked about it ad nauseum, trying to figure out solutions and stuff. So I won't go into that, but just tragic. It's sad, really.
If you're interested in reading more about so Spencer, I won't go into this whole thing because it's a whole thing, but Spencer Strider actually recently spoke out about this pitcher injury thing. Suffice it to say, I disagree with Spencer Strider on his sort of explanation behind all these pitcher injuries and some of the things he said. But I am, Carson, it is pretty damn awesome to see a big name player speaking out about this problem, this epidemic of pitcher injuries. It's good to see a big name player speak out. He's kind of the first to do it, and I guess we can only hope that leads to more dialogue between the players and between the players and the teams in Major League Baseball. And hopefully that leads to some changes being made.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the goal and the hope. So, because something's done here.
Yeah, because I mean, if players start speaking out, especially big name players, big names like Spencer Strider, start speaking out and be like, "Hey, this is a problem. We need to work together and do something about this." That can only lead to good things. So, but if you guys are interested in reading more about Spencer Strider and his him weighing in on this thing and my sort of thoughts about that, that is actually available on Two Strike Count. So if you guys go to eighthinningpod.com/2strike-count, you can read that. You can read that post and all the other ones, and subscribe and get it delivered to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So little plug there. All right, let's play some buy or sell. Ooh, we got some good ones. Everybody. Shout out to producer Tasha for coming up with these. Yeah, let's just dive right into these. The White Sox obviously off to a bit of a rocky start. But Carson, buy or sell that the White Sox will lose more games than the 62 Mets, who lost 120 games.
Buy. This team sucks. Like they are bad. They're on pace to lose 142 games.
Ooh.
I think they had gotten shut out they'd gotten shut out what, eight games?
Times in a row, I think. Yeah,
8 games straight. Like this team is a flaming dumpster riding down the road in Chicago, and my God, they are bad. So I will buy this 100% and throw all of my money into said flaming dumpster.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate to pile on the White Sox, I think I'm gonna buy this too. Oh, by the way, what is up with Tommy Pham signing with the White Sox? Tommy Pham, what are you thinking?
Money?
I guess, but could he have not gone to a good team and still got himself paid? I mean,
fair enough.
Okay. You do you, Tommy Pham, I guess. Like, why not go back to you could have gone back to the D-backs, or to any other number of teams who could use a bat right now. Red Sox. Oh man, Tommy Pham on the Red Sox. Yes, please. But no, I really, anyways, I don't mean to get off topic, but that was just Tommy Pham to the White Sox. Okay. Yeah, I'm buying this. Again, on pace. I mean, obvious. I mean, they'll win some games. I don't know if they'll lose the 142 games. Oh my God, that would be awful. But it's a safe bet that the White Sox will lose more than 100 games. I feel like unless something miraculous happens, like Frank Thomas coming out of retirement or something. I don't know. Anyways, from the south side of Chicago to the city of brotherly love, Carson, buy or sell that the Philadelphia Phillies are the hottest team in baseball right now?
I mean, I'll certainly buy it. I mean, they've been on fire as of late. And AJ, how about Alec Boehm coming out of nowhere, just on an insane hot streak?
Yeah,
feels like he's out here playing backyard baseball. Like he is on an insane hot streak right now, absolutely killing it at the plate. And if he keeps playing like that, there's no reason why the Phillies can't continue this surge.
Yeah, Alec Boehm is doing his Pablo Sanchez impression. The
GOAT, by the way.
I love when I love when we make backyard baseball references, because I know there are a ton of you out there who remember playing backyard baseball back in the day. And when we say Pablo Sanchez, you all know exactly who we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, the Phillies have been pretty hot. Their pitching has certainly been Ranger Suarez just actually just ended I forget how many innings, 30 something innings of a scoreless streak or something. But I'm going to sell this. I don't think the Phillies are the hottest team in baseball right now. Okay, yeah, they've won 8 out of their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. May I direct your attention, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seattle Mariners, who have won 3 in a row. They've won 8 out of their last 10. Their pitching staff is just dominating right now. And oh, by the way, as of last night's game, last night for us, anyways, right now, as of last night's game, Carson secured their 4th straight series win in a row. And ladies and gentlemen, if you stack up those series wins, good things will happen.
Yeah, that series must be killing you. Arizona and Seattle, you must be dying a little inside.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. But no, yeah, they've certainly been rolling. Obviously leading the AL West currently, but
right.
there's still some things going on that have got to be fixed. I hate doing him like this because he was one of my favorites, but Jorge Polanco.
Yeah.
Hello. I feel like to borrow an old Stephen A quote, I'm putting out an APB. I can't find him anywhere. I can't find him at the plate. I can't find him in the field. I can't find him anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've still got, everybody's got stuff they could work on. It's only April. Well, I mean, it's almost May, but yeah, I really, yeah, I know. I hear you guys. I know I'm biased, but damn. How about this? Let's throw this number out there. The Seattle Mariners ERA, their staff ERA over the last 15 games, 1.47. The next bet. Oh, how about this this is cool. The next best ERA in baseball. This one I did not see coming. The Boston Red Sox have the next best ERA over that span with 2.87.
Interesting.
I did not see that coming.
No.
I did not, ladies and gentlemen, I did not have that on my baseball bingo card. No, seriously though, the Mariners are just red hot right now. And they're winning close games, which they haven't done the last couple of years. Julio Rodriguez finally hit his first home run the other night. Yeah, the Mariners are on the upswing. And oh, by the way, still they're doing all of this without Brian Rue, without Matt Brash, and without JP Crawford. So when this team gets healthy, look out. And speaking of the AL West, how about let's get everybody get a load of the the Houston Astros sitting in the cellar of the American League West. Carson, you'll love to see it.
Yeah, very crazy. Again, like I can't get over the fact that this team has so much talent on its roster and they're playing like this. Like it's insane to me.
Yeah, they're worse than the A's. They're worse than the A's, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the A's, Mason Miller, the A's closer. Folks, if you haven't had a chance to see Mason Miller pitch yet, you need to. Because electric doesn't even begin to describe this dude. Yeah, Mason Miller he's ridiculous. Here, real quick, I actually meant to pull up his stats real quick. So Mason Miller he's appeared in 10 games for the A's so far this year. 7 saves, a 1.46 ERA, 25 strikeouts, 12. So in 12 and a third innings pitched, 25 strikeouts and a whip of .892. Carson, buy or sell Mason Miller right now, if the season ended right now, as a Cy Young finalist?
I gotta sell. I just no doubt his stats are impressive, but I feel like the Cy Young award is not a reliever's award. Like I feel like a lot of times, it's more so about not saying it should be, but I feel like a lot of times with the Cy Young award, it's like the NFL MVP. There are wide receivers who are very deserving to win that award, but we all know it's going to a quarterback. We know that there are relief pitchers that are very deserving to win a Cy Young award, but it's always going to go to a starting pitcher. So for me, I have to. I think just not based on anything to do with Mason Miller, but just based on everything to do with the Cy Young award, I'm going to have to sell.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it has been 2003 was the last time a closer won the Cy Young. Some scrub named Eric Gagne. Ugh. Sorry. Throw up in my mouth a little bit at the mention of just saying his name. For those of you who don't know why that makes me nauseous, I'm referring to Eric Gagne's way too long stint with my Red Sox, in which he was absolutely atrocious. But yeah, 2003 was the last time a closer won the Cy Young. And it was Eric Gagne. And before that, you got to go all the way back to 1992, when the great Dennis Eckersley won it, when he was still with the A's. So in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 closers have won the Cy Young ever. Which, kind of makes Carson's point for him. Yeah, I was prepared. I was convinced that I was going to buy this. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to sell. Yeah, and kind of like you said, nothing to do with Mason Miller whatsoever. He's having one hell of a season for the A's. I don't think he's going to finish the season with the Oakland A's, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Yeah, he's had a hell of a season. He's a ton of fun to watch. He just comes in and just throws straight up queso up there. But yeah, damn you and your logical argument. You just had to rain on my parade, didn't you? No, Carson makes a very good point, ladies and gentlemen, about closers in the Cy Young Award. It does obviously typically go to starting pitchers. So, and baseball, MLB used to have what the heck was it called? MLB used to have an award for closers, and they don't anymore. So, it was like the Relief Man of the Year award or something, but they haven't done it for a while. And I would be in favor of bringing that back, because Carson, closers and relief pitchers deserve recognition. Definitely, they deserve recognition, especially now in the era where we're in the era where, gone are the days when starting pitchers go 7, 8, 9 innings. I mean, a lot of times you see a starter go 5 innings, and then it's up to the bullpen to finish things off. Relief pitchers and closers are working harder now than probably ever before.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible that, they're, and I feel like we've seen an uptake too in 6 inning or 6 out saves rather than just coming in for the last 3 6 out saves or 4 out saves have become more commonplace.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, closers and relief pitchers are working harder than they ever have. So, yeah, they deserve some recognition. All right. In the I promise again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not from the Onion. But the Texas Rangers reached a minor league deal with veteran starter Johnny Cueto. Yeah. Buy or sell Johnny Cueto actually helping the Rangers.
This I don't know about this one, Texas. You know, if we were talking about even like 2022 Johnny Cueto, sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, if we were talking prime Johnny Cueto, absolutely.
Oh,
but
hell yeah.
I think I got to sell this. Like, you know, I get that you want to try and beef up the rotation a little bit. And I mean, again, it's a minor league deal. So he's going to spend probably a lot of time in AAA before getting called up eventually, because it probably will happen. But I just, especially watching him with
Carson, you there?
with the Marlins, even his best year since 2018. But yeah, I gotta sell this.
Yeah, I'm selling this all day. No disrespect whatsoever to Johnny Cueto. In his prime, he was one of the best pitchers ever, in my humble opinion. But yeah, Texas, this ain't it. I mean, I get it. They had to do something with, no DeGrom, no Scherzer. I mean, they did call up Jack Leiter from AAA. He struggled in his first start. He's back in AAA. I mean, obviously, it was only one game. I think Jack Leiter will be just fine, and he just needs a little more time in the oven. But Johnny Cueto, yeah, no. I don't know. It's a bold strategy, Carson. Let's see if it pays off for him. But I mean, I don't know. Again, no disrespect to Johnny Cueto, but I don't know what are the Rangers expecting to get out of this dude? Like, is he even going to be able to crack the major league roster? Like, I'm not even sure that can happen.
Yeah, and I mean, I think at the end of the day, he's going to be more of just like a fifth starter guy, or maybe even a long reliever. Who knows? Like, I don't foresee him being a guy who's going to chew up a ton of innings. But more depth isn't a bad thing. But
sure,
I don't know if this is going to, this Johnny Cueto signing isn't going to be the thing where I'm like, all right, book it, Rangers repeating as World Series champions. Like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what they're expecting to get out of 39-year-old Johnny Cueto at this point, but I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I could see like a long reliever role, because he's not going to chew up innings. He can't chew up innings. Physically cannot chew up innings like he used to, obviously. None of us who are in our late 30s can do all of the things that we used to be able to do. It's just a fact of life, unfortunately. All right, not to get too deep here before the cocktail hour. Last but not least, I'm just gonna throw this one out there, man. Buy or sell that someone other than Mike Trout will win the American League MVP.
I'll probably buy that. I don't think this is the year for. I don't think this is the year for Mike. Granted, do I know who this other person will be? I can't say with certainty right now, but I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be Mike.
I mean, he's having a very Mike Trout-esque season. And I mean, he's obviously got a better shot at MVP now that a dude named Shohei Ohtani isn't in the American League anymore. But yeah, I've got to buy this too. And if I were to make a sports oriented financial investment on the AL MVP, I think I might put my money on Gunnar Henderson.
Ooh, I do like that pick.
I really like what I've seen out of Gunnar Henderson so far. Gunnar Henderson or my boy Julio, my boy J-Rod up there in Seattle.
J-Rod for MVP campaign is still going strong, huh?
Yeah. Have you seen the dude play?
Yes, I've seen him play.
I know he's off to a bit of a slow start by his standards. But I'm still putting him down for a 40-40 season.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, he is practically already there. I mean, he's okay. You're gonna make me bust out the stats. Here we go. Baseball Reference. Julio Rodriguez. Man, this dude is only 23. Holy crap. That's just not right. Let's see. 2022. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Julio Rodriguez, this is only his third major league season. 2022. 28 home runs, 25 stolen bases. Okay, so basically a 25 and 25 season. 75 RBIs. Last year, 2023. Oh, by the way, rookie of the year in 2022. Last year, 32 home runs, 37 stolen bases, and 103 RBIs. So far this year, only the one home run to speak of thus far. Already it's 7 stolen bases and 10 RBIs. Came pretty damn close to a 40-40 last year.
Fair enough.
It's coming.
Those are solid stats.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Julio Rodriguez, 40-40 this year. 40-40 and 40-40 and at least 100 RBIs. Yeah. So, anyways, but that aside, J-Rod would be my second choice for AL MVP because I really like what I've seen out of Gunnar Henderson, Carson.
Yeah, he's been very impressive so far to start the year, and no doubt that he'll probably continue on along this trend.
Of course, we know somebody in pinstripes will probably get MVP. They'll probably give it to freaking Juan Soto. Or Aaron
he
Judge.
Has been good though too.
Yeah, whatever. Stupid Yankees. Juan Soto has been really good. They'll probably freaking end up being Juan Soto because the MVP voters can't help themselves but vote for Yankees and Dodgers. I do think a Dodger will win an MVP. I don't think it's going to be Shohei Ohtani. I think it's going to be Mookie Betts.
Yeah, Mookie's been on fire once again.
Yeah,
he took that loss last year, as Michael Jordan would say. He took that personally.
Yeah, I think Mookie Betts wins NL MVP. For the record, though, my preseason picks for MVPs were Julio Rodriguez in the AL and Mookie Betts for the NL. Okay, so we'll see how that pans out. All right, folks, it's time for your guys. Where the heck is it? What the? Oh, there it is. Yeah, banner. Yeah, we never use these. We have banners. We have banners for buy or sell. We have this one for the mailbag. We have one for must watch games. We have one for one last thing. And we never use them, which several of you have pointed out. I'm sorry. We just get so wrapped up in stuff that we just forget about them. But yes, it is time for the mailbag. Which I'm a bit curious. Carson, I think I just thought of our next poll question. I think we need to ask our fans what their favorite part of the show is. Yeah?
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think we've ever done that before. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think we have.
All right. Yeah. So that'll be our next poll question at eighth-inningpod.com. We'll ask you guys. You guys will get to tell us what your favorite part of the show is. So anyways, but I know a lot of you have said that the mailbag is your favorite part. Because this is kind of your, this is your part of the show. Yeah, anyways, let's dive right in. Starting right off, Jasmine H asking the tough questions. What do you guys snack on / drink during the show? I love it.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know about you, AJ. I don't really snack usually during the show. I don't really,
No.
I just kind of hang out, Do I absolutely pig out after the show is done?
I know, right?
But at the end of the day,
Carson, you there? Hello? Anyone? Bueller? Oh, I think we might have lost Carson. Carson, you there? Sorry everybody for the technical difficulties. I think we may have lost Carson for a moment. Just bear with us for a moment. The joys of live streaming. Oh. Sorry, everybody. Just hang tight for a minute. While we get this figured out. What is going on? He is definitely gone. All right, everybody, just hang tight with us here for a couple minutes while we try to figure this out. Carson has apparently been disconnected. Oh. Hey, there he is.
My laptop decided to say, "Oh, your battery's low. It might be time to plug in," and then just decided, "Oh, wait, it's actually low enough that it's going to die now."
I knew it. I was just saying that to myself. I'm like, I bet his laptop freaked out.
even though my laptop says it has 34% battery left, it said, "Oh, I'm going to die now."
What?
I think it's just time for me to pull a San Francisco Giants and toss the laptop on the IL and go get a new one.
Nice.
So apologies, everybody, but yes, I do not snack on anything during the show. To summarize my last point.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I try to do my snacking. I mean, we start the show at roughly 8-ish my time here. And honestly, I'm not a big breakfast person. Sometimes I'll snack before the show. If I'm, if I am really hungry when I wake up, sometimes I'll snack before the show. But no, during, I mean, come on, guys. Like, nobody wants to hear us crunching over here.
Yeah. But
That's
also, not being
gross.
a breakfast person, that's a very hot take.
I don't know. My body's weird, man. I'm not usually that hungry when I get up in the morning. It's weird. I've always kind of been that way. Even when I was a kid, I was kind of like that. It's just, I don't know. My body's just weird. That said, however, no snacking, but most of the time when I'm sitting here doing this, I do have a trusty Red Bull at the ready.
Ooh, that's fair. Usually I don't really have a beverage or anything either. Usually, most of the time I'm chilling here. But there was one time where an early morning and a not so great night of sleep required some coffee. Next to me.
Yeah. Yep. I've usually got a Red Bull, and I've usually got my trusty water bottle handy. And yes, I know Red Bull's bad for you, but it's the sugar-free Red Bull, so back off. All right. Moving on. Aaron W. Oh boy. Do you think the Orioles called Jackson Holiday up too soon? Well,
yes.
Considering he's back in AAA.
And I mean, again, this kind of comes back to, we had kind of had this conversation, right? Where it's like, prospects in baseball are a lot trickier than a lot of other sports. Like, we talked about NBA and the NFL. We just had the NFL draft. A lot of these first round picks are going to be starters or will be starters probably at some point during this season. With hockey and baseball, you've got a few different levels that you can send these guys to. And it's all about timing. And, Jackson Holiday is a very talented player. No doubt in my mind that he will have a great MLB career, but I think it was just too soon.
Yeah, I do too. Like I was saying, who were we talking about earlier? When we were talking about Jack Leiter, the Rangers' Jack Leiter earlier. And I'll say the same thing kind of said about him. Jackson Holiday needs a little more time in the oven. He's not quite done yet. Still a little underbaked around the edges. But I have complete confidence in Jackson Holiday that he'll come up when he's ready and will have an awesome career. But I think the Orioles rushed him just a little bit. He didn't do so hot in his first stint, but that happens a lot too, Carson. We've seen that a lot over the years. Guys will come up and they'll struggle in their first stint. They'll go back down, spend a little more time in AAA, and then come back up again, and they're good to go. At this point, if I'm the Orioles, Jackson Holiday is probably staying at AAA until the September call-ups.
I mean, I can't necessarily say I disagree, but I feel like he'll definitely probably get called up before that.
Before then. If he's, I also have complete confidence that the Orioles won't call him up until everybody sort of agrees that he's ready. I hope it's sooner because he's a lot of fun to watch. And I know Orioles fans are understandably very excited to see him play and see what he can do. We'll see. Aaron, to answer your question, I do think they rushed him a little bit. They saw him, tearing it up in AAA, and unfortunately, that doesn't always translate to the show. So, all right, Danielle T, what's the spiciest rivalry in baseball right now?
Aaron Boone versus Hunter Wentelstead. No, but in all seriousness, I genuinely think it's right now pitchers versus umpires. Like it feels like, especially lately, we have just seen nothing but horrendous umpiring. And you know, it's a constant, the cries, I feel like, for ABS have never been stronger than they are right now.
Yeah. I like it. That's a bit of an out of the box answer, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I have seen, you're right though. I have seen more people calling for ABS than even just the last couple of years. As far as like actual team rivalries, the spiciest rivalry right now, oh geez. There's so many good ones. I think I've got to go. I think I've got to go Dodgers Padres. You had that whole, irrelevant thing going on, and some I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Dodgers Padres, because man, the San Diego Padres, ladies and gentlemen, the San Diego Padres are going hard at the Dodgers. Of course, they had the meeting in the playoffs a couple years ago that the Padres won. But I'll freely admit I watched quite a few Padres games. Mostly because the great Don Orsillo. And I miss him terribly calling my Red Sox games, but also because, man, that Padres team is fun to watch. Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts, Ha-Seong Kim, Manny Machado. As much as it kills me to admit it, is fun to watch. The Padres team is fun to watch, and in watching so many Padres games, I've heard them talk Carson's. I've heard them talk several times, but the Padres, their whole thing, their whole, like, their mission statement. I mean, obviously they want to go past the Dodgers and win the World Series, but their whole thing, their whole drive is slaying that Dodgers dragon, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, they want to prove that, prove the person who called them irrelevant, cough Will Smith, wrong.
Idiot.
And I think there are a lot of Dodgers fans that have kind of felt the same way about the Padres, that they've been kind of the little brother in this rivalry. And it's a rivalry that's been going on for a long time and only gotten better with the talent that both of these teams now have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Padres aren't the little brother anymore. That rivalry is a lot closer. Probably the closest that has been. Certainly the closest has been in a long time, maybe ever. So, all right, Matty L. I love these. Who would you rather have on your team, Ellie De La Cruz or Gunnar Henderson? Oof.
I would say probably right now I'd take Gunnar Henderson for kind of his versatility in the field. You could play him at short, you could line him up at third. Both of these guys, though, extremely good young talent, so I don't think there's a wrong answer here either way.
No, I think you're right. I don't think there is a wrong answer here. Oh man. Geez, why don't you just ask me to choose between? I don't know. I was gonna try to make a. Why not ask me to choose between peanut butter and chocolate here? Like, or between pizza and tacos. Like, I'm laughing because me and Carson and producer Tasha recently had a Twitter exchange about pizza and tacos, didn't we, Carson?
I have never been so mad. I have never been so upset at producer Tasha. Like, come on. You're talking to an Italian here, and you're about to tell me that tacos are better than pizza. Tasha, you're fantastic, but get out of here with that.
Yeah, so producer Tasha picked tacos over pizza, and Carson had a moment. I just saying pizza and tacos just made me think of that. Oh man, Ellie De La Cruz or Gunnar Henderson? Are you? This is so unfair. Hang on. Gotta look at their stats. Yeah, okay, so Gunnar Sanderson can play shortstop and third base, but Ellie De La Cruz can play both positions too. You know what? I don't think there's any wrong. Like Carson said, there's no wrong answer here. I think I'm gonna go Ellie De La Cruz. I mean, they're both really good, really, really, really good young talent. But there's just something. Ellie De La Cruz just has that something extra, man. Like, that dude might. I mean, Ellie De La Cruz might be the most exciting player to watch in baseball right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Dude is a spark plug, like
absolute stud.
Yeah, I mean, he's inside the park homers, and he's still in home plate, and I mean the dude is just he's so much fun to watch. But again, I don't think there's a wrong answer there. They're both really, really good. Liam N, what's your favorite ballpark song?
Ooh. I mean, Take Me Out to the Ball Game is obviously a classic.
Yeah, that one goes without saying.
I don't know. It's hard because like they change up so often, and like you can't really pick a walk-up song. And I think I'm just gonna go with Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Call it a bland answer, but
oh man, it's a classic. You can't go wrong with it. I'm glad you brought up walk-up songs, because I feel like now that we're in the pitch clock era, walk-up songs they're not gone, but they're going, which really sucks and really, really upsets me, because walk-up songs are a good walk-up song. There's not much better. I'm sorry, Liam, I've got two and I can't choose between them, so I'm just gonna say them both. One is Shane Victorino's walk-up song, Three Little Birds, Bob Marley. Forever ingrained on my memory when Shane played for the Red Sox in 2013, and 35,000 crazy Red Sox fans at Fenway singing along to Three Little Birds. That was just awesome. And my other favorite that I can't choose between is, unsurprisingly, another Red Sox related song. Come on, man. Sweet Caroline during the 8th inning stretch at Fenway. Come on. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know a lot of people don't like it. I know I've seen some pretty strong opinions about Sweet Caroline. But you know what? I'm even from some so-called Red Sox fans. I use the term fans very loosely. You know what? If you don't like Sweet Caroline, go be Yankees fans. We don't want you. We don't need you. Sweet Caroline is awesome. But yeah, that's where I come down on ballpark songs. And if you never got the chance to see Shane Victorino and his walk-up song, go YouTube it, because it's awesome. All right, Jake F, who was the best off-season addition not named Shohei Ohtani?
I think it's got to be Shota Imanaga, right? I mean, right now he has looked.
What?
I think he has. I mean, he's looked absolutely spectacular. Now, granted, again, short sample size. I'm not. I hope everybody knows I'm not a
what?
The way that my co-host is reacting there, it sounds like I'm president of the Shohei or the Shota Imanaga haters fan club, which I'm not. I think he's a solid pitcher, but
that's because I thought you were gonna say Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I was convinced.
I mean, But in terms of names, yes. In terms of results, right now it's Imanaga.
No, I know you're not a Shota hater.
I love me some Shota. I watched his first start. He was incredible.
Yeah. Shota Imanaga's been, I mean, we talked about it earlier. He's got a 0.9 ERA. His ERA is less than, he's giving up less than a run, which is ridiculous. In his first 4 starts. Yeah, I mean, Shota Imanaga to the Cubs is a good one. I actually, I do. I mean, I love Shota Imanaga has been fantastic for the Cubs. Oh man, this is tough. There were so many good ones. I actually really like. I think I gotta go Corbin Burns to the Orioles.
Oh yeah, that's all.
As good as the Orioles were last year,
yeah,
they were. I mean, they needed other stuff. They needed other pieces. They needed experience. I won't say that the Orioles were Corbin Burns away from winning the World Series, but having Corbin Burns at the top of that rotation clearly doesn't hurt. I mean, Corbin Burns to me is on the short list of the best pitchers in baseball. He's off to a good start. He's he's holding opponents to a 202 batting average. He's gone at least 5 innings in all of his starts so far. I mean, Corbin Burns, like I said, I wouldn't go as far to say that Corbin Burns was the missing piece for the Orioles, Carson, but obviously having Corbin Burns on your staff in your rotation doesn't hurt. And I think, he's already proved himself, but I think Corbin Burns is really going to prove himself and prove and show the Orioles that they made the right move by bringing him in. He's really going to prove himself come October.
Yeah, I'd 110% agree with that.
Yeah. So, honorable mention for best offseason edition. How awesome has Tyler O'Neill been for my Red Sox?
He's been killing the game, that's for sure. He's been very impressive as of late.
I don't like to brag, but I said, somebody bearing a striking resemblance to myself said when the Red Sox signed Tyler O'Neill, this dude's going to love hitting at Fenway. And boy, does he ever. He really likes that green monster.
Who doesn't?
Well, yeah, that's fair. But his swing and I'm like, yeah, this dude's going to light up Fenway. I don't know if he's going to, but damn, Carson, I really want to see Tyler O'Neill in the home run derby this year.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Especially now that the home run derby is, they've made it so that you don't necessarily, it's open to players that didn't make the All-Star team. I want to see Tyler O'Neill in the home run derby. I think that, I don't know if he'd win, but I think it would be a lot of fun to watch. All right, last but not least, Kayla D. Oh, Carson, it's one of our favorites. Which movies are on your baseball movies Mount Rushmore?
Oh,
we love, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never listened to the show before, we love talking about baseball movies on the show. In fact, Carson, our first episode together with guest star Jordan Leandre was all about baseball movies.
Yes, it was. So without further ado, in no particular order, if Field of Dreams is not on your baseball movie Mount Rushmore,
get out.
What are you doing?
Get out.
I'll put Major League on there. I love me some Major League.
Yep.
I'll say Moneyball. I really enjoyed Moneyball. And oh man, this is hard. I'll say Angels in the Outfield.
I was hoping you were going to say that. I love me some Angels in the Outfield. That's still one of my favorite movies. That everybody. I feel like everybody when they were, when we were kids. We all had that one movie, well, in my case, it was a VHS tape that we just absolutely wore out. And mine was Angels in the Outfield. Actually, mine were Angels in the Outfield, and the other one was D2 The Mighty Ducks.
Some solid choices on both of those.
I'm pretty sure I wore out both of those VHS tapes. Yeah, baseball movie, Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I mean, Field of Dreams, no brainer. Yeah, again, in no particular order. Field of Dreams, Angels in the Outfield. Major League. Love me some Major League. Let's see, that's 3, right? Yeah. Field of Dreams, Angels in the Outfield, Major League. Oh man, this is hard. I'm gonna go a little out of the box here, and if you guys haven't seen this movie, you need to see it. Carson, I'm going with $1 Million Arm.
Ooh, that is a little out of the box, but I like it.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor, everybody, and watch that movie. It's called $1 Million Arm. Came out in 2014. 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's available on Disney Plus. Because it was a Disney movie, wasn't it? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, it was Disney. Yeah, I'm 99.999% sure that it's on Disney Plus. But anyways, it stars a great John Hamm. John Hamm, Bill Paxton, Alan Arkin, the late great Alan Arkin. And it's actually based on a true story. It's based on the true story of Rinku Singh and Dinesh Patel, who were cricket players in India, and were discovered by a sports agent. I think his name was Bernstein. That John Hamm plays. And I won't tell you guys anymore. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, $1 Million Arm. Awesome movie. As far as baseball movie, Mount Rushmore, yeah, those are my picks. With an honorable mention to The Sandlot, because who doesn't love The Sandlot?
Yeah.
Benny the Jet Rodriguez, and yeah, great. Sandlot's a great movie. All right, everybody, that's all for the mailbag. Don't forget, you can drop us a line at eighth-inningpod.com/mailbag or 8th-inningstretch@gmail.com, and we might just read your message on an upcoming episode. All right, let's do, where are we here? Let's do some must-watch games real quick. As I try to remember to put up the banner. Yeah, there it is. Must-watch games. Let's see. What have I got on my list this time out? So these series are starting Monday. We've got the Yankees and Orioles, which is going to be a lot of fun. Obviously AL East rivals, and both teams playing really well right now. We've got the aforementioned Dodgers visiting the struggling D-backs. Boy, if there was ever a time for the D-backs to figure things out and get back on track, it's against their NOS rivals. Starting Tuesday, we've got the Giants visiting Fenway and taking on my Red Sox. Not really traditional rivals there, but really cool. Carson in that series, Mike Yastrzemski of the Giants, of course, the grandson of Red Sox great Carl Yastrzemski, playing at Fenway. That's pretty cool. And then starting Friday, we've got the Brewers and the Cubs in a good old-fashioned NL Central slugfest.
Yeah, we've got some we are kind of spoiled a little bit with some really really solid series. I mean, we've also got Braves and Mariners start on Monday, which should be a really fun one.
Big
The
series for my Mariners. Big
huge
series.
Yankees and Orioles in a clash of the two teams atop of the AL East right now, which will be a fun one. But ladies and gentlemen,
oh no,
we have ourselves our first tankathon.
Yay!
In a series that when I saw it on the schedule, AJ, like it's been a while where a series kind of makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit. This one made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. Starting on Tuesday.
Oh boy.
Lone Depot Park in Miami.
Oh boy.
The Miami Marlins take on the Colorado Rockies.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, you see why it made me throw up in my mouth a little bit?
Oh man.
That one's gross. So yeah, if you enjoy watching Chris Bryant make a lot of money to play on one of the worst teams ever, and the same thing for Jazz Chisholm, go watch that series.
Oh man. That is, oh God, that's just,
it's nasty.
Oh, I don't even know if that's, I mean, we talk about like watching bad baseball. I don't even know if that's watchable.
Yeah.
That's like watching a car wreck, man. Oh God.
But like car wrecks, I probably won't be able to look away.
Yeah, that's fair. We have this weird thing as human beings where we have this urge to, watch stuff that we should look away from. Oh God, Marlins Rockies. Yikes.
Yeah. Quite bad. Oh, AJ? Apparently this is the episode of technical difficulties. We may have lost AJ here.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Okay, we got you.
Oh, yep. I was gonna say I didn't have you either, so that was interesting.
Oh, thought we lost you again. No, I was just saying, is Chris Bryant even playing? I thought he was on the IL. Maybe not.
I mean, he might be, but who cares really? Like outside of Rockies fans, who cares?
I mean, I'm not even sure if Rockies fans know his status.
No disrespect. Chris Bryant's a fantastic baseball player, and he's still in the major leagues, which is a lot more than I can say for me sitting here recording a podcast. But
yes, fair. Oh boy. Whew. Yeah, that's bad. All right. It's time for one last thing. I've got a little bit of a deeper dive here for one last thing, Carson. So I will let you lead this one off.
In all honesty, I don't really have a whole lot for one last thing this time out. Mostly just, I guess just with a little preempting myself, but reach out to your moms as Mother's Day gets closer and closer. Moms are the true unsung heroes of our society, and they do a lot for us. So make sure you're reaching out to your moms, not just on Mother's Day, but all year round, because they deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as recent days have proved, you just never know when you're gonna get your last chance to talk to your mom or see your mom. So so sometimes I like to find some really cool stories for to share with you guys for one last thing. Like, obviously the boots on baseball thing, that was a cool one. But Chad, I'm gonna mispronounce his name and I'm sorry. Chad Cool, Kuhl, I think it's cool. Of the Chicago White Sox. This dude has been through it. So Chad Cool had recently made his return to baseball after being away So Chad stepped away from baseball last summer to help his wife through her battle and through treatment for stage 3 breast cancer. And now with her on the mend and doing better, Chad's returned to the mound. Signed a minor league contract with the White Sox to start the season. Started with AAA Charlotte, and now has made his way from AAA to the majors with the White Sox. I won't spoil the story. I'll let you guys read the story. It's on The Athletic. The title's Back to Boring. Chad Kuhl's baseball comeback as a welcome return to normal. It's just a really cool story. It's a really it's a bit of a tough read, I'll be honest. But it's a really cool story to see, this guy and his family go through, basically go through hell. Stage 3, cancer's no joke ever, but stage 3 is that's no joke. And to see Chad and his family not only get through this, but now they're thriving. He's back where he loves to be. He's back on the field. He's back on the pitcher's mound. And his family's doing well. And it's just a really cool story. And really, we talk about sometimes there's things bigger than baseball. And there are for sure, but it's especially cool. And especially really inspiring when you see when we see a story like this where, obviously his wife battling cancer was bigger than baseball and he stepped away from baseball, but it's really cool and really inspiring to see when sports and baseball in particular help people get through tough times, and in this case help Chad and his family after going through a tough time and help get them back to normal after what they went through. It's a really cool story. It's really inspiring to see that, as tough as things can get sometimes, we still have sports and we still have baseball to help get us through those tough times. But anyways, I'll let you guys read it. I won't spoil it for you. I'll let you guys read the story. Like I said, it's on The Athletic. And it's a very cool story. It's a very inspiring story. But like I said, it is a little bit of a tough read, but definitely worth reading for sure. And he's probably not listening, but shout out to Chad Kuhl for congrats for being able to get back on the field, and a bigger shout out and congrats that you're that you and your family got through this tough time and are at least trying to get back to normal.
Yeah, well said. And obviously, the true, as cool as that comeback is, the true hero of that story is his wife.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%.
Like we talked about earlier, cancer fights are not easy.
Nope.
And it's one of the few diseases, I think, where putting up a fight for a long time, even if you end up succumbing to it, is considered a success. And so the fact that she was able to put up that fight and come through it and be in remission is absolutely outstanding and absolutely awesome.
Yeah, she is definitely the real hero of that story. Yeah, cancer sucks. And unfortunately, cancer wins. Cancer does win more often than not. We're obviously with all the medical advances and everything, and advances in medicine and technology that we made, we're starting to even the odds out. But unfortunately, cancer does end up winning out more often than not, which really sucks. Obviously. But yeah, guys, that's all we got for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, we cannot say enough how much we appreciate you guys and all your support, and all your participation in the show, and everything we do, through whether it be just listening to the show or watching the live stream, or following us on Twitter, or subscribing and reading Two Strike Count. Everything you guys do, we can't possibly, we'll never be able to express how much we appreciate you guys, or writing your messages into the mailbag. We know you guys love that, and we love hearing from you guys. So yeah, we're live every Sunday or thereabouts on YouTube, on Twitter, and on demand wherever you get your podcasts, anytime, at linktree/8inningstretch. Follow us on 8th Inning Pod. Follow us at 8th Inning Pod on Twitter. And for more, including our newsletter, column, blog thingy, Two Strike Count, which you can get delivered right to your inbox every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by subscribing, head to 8th Inning Pod. And please, if you are so inclined, help support the show. Help us keep doing this, either by using the QR code on your screen, if you're watching on the live stream, or 8thinningpod.com/donate. And if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That's a wrap for us for this time out. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. You guys are awesome. You're the best. And just keep in mind, just remember, like Carson mentioned about your moms, but really everybody in your life, your friends, your family, take a second to call them or text them or go hang out with them. Because the reality is, we only get to ride this crazy ride once, and we just simply do not know when it's our time to get off the ride. But in the meantime, while we're here, it's important to spend time with the people that we care about and tell them and show them how much they mean to us, because we just don't know. Every day is a gift. Don't forget that. I know it's easy. I know it's all too easy to get caught up in the daily grind, but try your best not to lose sight of that. And as always, take care of yourselves and take care of each other.